Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Podcast series. This is Lakshit Pan from Azure Developer Community. We are back here again with another episode of the Tech Podcast series. In this, all these episodes, we have been inviting all these industry leaders who are building awesome products. They have been, in the startup ecosystem, they are revolutionizing all the industries, and we are right now looking forward to, hearing these new terms like generative AI, blockchain, cybersecurity, and a lot more things, right? And today we have our industry speaker. We have an industry leader, Mr. Roopak Naresh Gupta, the founder of mTap Digital, and he has built a super awesome product that helps you network very gives you a smooth experience. And I want to kick off the things. I would kindly request Roopak to introduce yourself first.
Hi, Lakshya. Thank you for having me over on your awesome podcast, and you are doing a great job. I listened to your past episodes, and a lot of value add that you are bringing to the table for a lot of our listeners out there. I am Roopak Gupta. I love creating products. I created my first robot when I was in 8th grade, way back in 1989. And wow. I never knew what entrepreneurship is at that point of time, but it is just the love of creating something from scratch that led me to various things that we do. I am very much tuned to the startup ecosystem. As a background, I did my engineering from India in Kolhapur. That point of time got involved with, have you heard of Srikhand?
Yeah, I did.
Varna Srikhand, right? So I got involved in making the pulp processing plant, Varna Srikhand, way back in 1999, 2000s. Okay. Then I was part of the core team that brought roaming in India with Bharti Telecom. One India, One Airtel slogan was a part of that given by our team. Moved over to US, have been working in enterprise system for very long. Worked with Johnson & Johnson since 2004 till 2022. And I gave up my job and career, which was pretty good in SAP, data analytics, and all the supply chain management components, and started mTap. And what mTap is? mTap is just making networking very easy. So we have very good tools, very great CRM systems. We have awesome systems that can take a lead further. But how do you get the lead to a CRM system? I'm talking to you right now. And when I'm talking to you over internet, I can send you my LinkedIn, I can send you 10 links very easily. But I cannot send you one link that can have my LinkedIn, it can have my video, it can have my presentation. Can I? Without creating a small website of my own. But today with mTap, you can. You can share one link, whether you are over the phone. I can put my systems, put your phone number and your name, and you will get the link right away.
Right.
When I'm meeting you in person, I can show you my digital business card, tap it on your phone, and you will get my information just with one click.
Wow.
And moreover, you can give me your information with one click. So it is a two-way communication. And yes, we have integrations with OpenAI that will write the follow-up email for you.
Wow, that's a fantastic product that you have built that makes networking so easy, right? Because whenever we, in fact, we talk about this right now, we are connected through a digital communication channel that is internet, right? So talking about this, right, there are multiple link spamming that goes into spam and one never checks them out, right? So sharing one link would definitely work out as a best product in the industry. Talking about the inspiration perspective, right? So how did you got inspiration to start a product in this particular sector where people are not? So how you led to the product, right? I believe that has been there in the mind for quite a couple of years, right? Let's make something like this. How did you research and how did you land it into the product?
Most of the great startups, they start from a pain point, and any founder, they are trying to solve a real pain point. So it also started the same way. I was doing my MBA in Columbia, and after we finished my executive MBA in 2018, yes, there were a lot of networking events and you were meeting great people. But when you come back from that event, one time I realized that I'm spending money and time in meeting people. but I'm not great at doing the follow up the next day,
Right.
because connection is about nurturing. When you make connections, it is the first contact, and then you nurture that contact. In order
Right.
for you to make the first contact good, you need to create a great impression. We did not had anything to create a great impression. Like, I'll have to work extra hard, where I'll have to make sure my LinkedIn profile is managed and I'm able to connect with LinkedIn, which was the go-to tool. But then what started happening is I realized a lot of people don't even respond on LinkedIn. They will make connections, but they will not respond. Then if I go to a networking event, I meet 10 people, 15 people over there. It is very rare that the other person will receive an email about you. You'll get an email from them, hey, it was nice meeting you.
Right.
Why? Because any connection prior to mTap was a one-way street. I will give you my information. I will give you my paper business card, and you will give me yours. But then it goes into my paper, or I write your name somewhere and it is in my address book. I have 6,000 other contacts too. So next day, I don't remember anything about you.
Right.
Right? So that was my pain point. The second pain point was when I'm trying to do the follow up, I do not have a great memory of remembering every conversation that I'm having during the day. So
Exactly.
I
Right.
tend to forget the context.
Yeah.
So these were the two pain points. And then I tried to look for other solutions out there. So there are many solutions that were scanning the paper card, many of them. There are many solutions that were trying to create a great landing page for you. But there was no solution that was bringing all the things together, where I can create my own landing page very fast, which is speaking to my brand, where I can have a centralized hub where all my contacts are nicely arranged, tagged, properly done. And there was no tool which was sending this information over to my CRM system or even to my email system.
Got
Then I
it.
said, why don't I make a tool that encompasses managing my brand, keeping the context of the conversation and doing immediate follow ups rather than doing it the next day, and also scanning the paper cards. And then the third is, how can I nurture these contacts? Can I make sure that I have a tool that allows me to do easy follow ups with all of them without spending a lot of minutes on each follow up? And then the fourth
Right.
point that came to my mind is, how can we leverage AI to do this? And
Okay.
how can we take help of AI? How can we make that AI implementation so easy that you, without being a techie, can actually take advantage of it? And that's how mTap was born. So
Wow.
the journey is always starting from a pain point, and then you go around doing customer discovery and customer validation as to whatever answer you have to resolve that pain point, the solution. Do people like it or not?
Right. So, the most unique feature that I loved about when I was exploring, when I was doing my homework for this podcast, right? I explored that you are utilizing the NFC technology, right? That simplifies the process a lot because digital cards are everywhere. In fact, the QR code thing has simplified a lot of work for us, right? We can just make it very easy. But again, there goes another effort, there goes another layer of effort scanning the QR code. Whenever human, this is the human psychology or whatever you call it, right? Whenever there is one step is just increased, people tend to forget it, right? And as you have clearly mentioned, if I'll give, that's what it really happens. Yeah.
So NFC technology is very unique. Not
Hmm.
in the way that NFC technology is unique. NFC technology existed for years to come. But
Right.
what has literally in the last couple of years advanced it is the Apple adoption of NFC reader, making it native. So just remember the days when QR code, you had to download an app and do it rather than simply scanning from a camera. The same was with NFC. So every iPhone in today's world has, after iPhone 10, Apple did is they made sure that NFC reader is always turned on, and they made it towards the top of their phone. So
Right.
that allowed people to scan the car any NFC card very easily. So that was one. Second is, we still a lot of Samsung phones and a lot of other Android phones, they have NFC inside them, but it is turned off by default. So
Right.
when the time will come that even Androids will turn the NFC on by default, that when it will become much more easy.
Right.
And the benefit of NFC technology is it is an interface between the digital world and a physical world. And it is not only used for the business card component, but we are using it, and I see much more usage in customer experience. So what do I mean by that? You can use an NFC tag or a sticker in multiple ways. So for example, you can use it in a hotel at the reception for registering the user experience of the guest. You can use it inside the hotel room to give out, instead of having all the brochures, to have one place where user can tap and get all the information about the room, about the TV, about the restaurants, and everything at one place.
Right.
For retailers, they can get a Google review very easily.
Right. So when we, when I was exploring right about this NFC technology, when we talk about, how do you think, I'm really wondering about the cost that really matters, because when we talk from a US forefront, from a global forefront, it is definitely very much, it's not that easy. But when we talk about Indian ecosystem, here is it's very price sensitive market, right? How do you manage to tackle it, and what does the cost look like from a NFC card, and what are the difference between a normal paper card and a NFC powered mTap card?
So there are two answers to that. The way I look at NFC is going to become a commodity. So
Okay.
today, NFC is a premium product. I'm looking of NFC as becoming a commodity. You can purchase a NFC tag for 40 rupees, 50 rupees from Amazon, and
Okay.
you can use that NFC tag with mTap app to write the mTap profiles in those tags. So that is an open market. So the
Right.
way you are gonna get the QR code, similarly you are gonna get the NFC, because it's gonna be super simple of purchasing an NFC device, customizing it to what you want, and using tools like mTap to write the profiles on those devices.
Get it. Now when, yeah.
So and the way the difference between paper business card and a mTap NFC card is, on a paper business card, it is not an interaction. If I touch a paper business card, I will only get the information which is on my card. But
Right.
with the mTap, it is much more digital. You can not only showcase your phone number, email, your name, but you can also have all your social links. You can have all your different presentations, your brochures, your videos, everything at one place. So you are able to represent your brand completely. And mTap NFC cards all come with a QR code. So if you are in a place where you do not have the phone with the NFC reader, you are able to use the QR code.
Got it. Now, when because there is one more thing I just noticed, that is about the CRM integration that you have providing, right? How do you think, if you can elaborate a little bit more significance from a professional standpoint, how the CRM integration with mTap really work for the professionals?
So I'm going to take up the example of the Zoho CRM. Zoho is a very prevalent and top of the line CRM that is being used in India. Now, if you are a professional, you are going to have, you are managing all your leads in Zoho. And when you're managing your leads in Zoho, you have your account and then you have your campaign. So the way integration with mTap works is, it's a one-step process for any professional. You go to mTap, you click your mTap account and integrate it with your Zoho account by just entering your Zoho credentials, and your Zoho account is now linked with mTap. All the leads that you are generating inside mTap, all the contacts that you are creating inside mTap, they will now start to flow into Zoho CRM. We are integrated to a point where you can actually choose which campaign of Zoho you want which contact to go in.
Okay. Wow. Now, moving ahead to the next part of the podcast would be, you have also mentioned about the AI assistant that you provide, right? Now, how you are leveraging generative AI, or maybe that we call the artificial intelligence and the mTap product as a whole, and what are the significance of using it?
So the goal of using AI is to make mTap your companion in doing networking. So after 1 year, when you are using mTap app, you have a question about networking, you can ask the app, and app is going to give you the answer tailored to your personality. So
Right.
we have a lot of people who are introvert, a lot of people who are not introvert, but they are hesitant in doing open networking, and there are a lot of people who have questions. We are bringing mTap to a point where you have any question about networking, you will ask to the app, and app's chatbot will give you the answer to it. So that's where we are using generative AI to tailor the answers to your need
Wow.
as a networking companion. Now,
Now, yeah.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So, no, that's a more of a follow-up question. You please go ahead. Yeah.
So as of today, what we are doing is, if you sign up on mTap, the profile creation that I was talking about was a very big pain point. So for the first 5,000 users when they were signing, they all were complaining that can you make the profile creation much more simplified?
Okay.
How I have to go sign up on an account, then copy my LinkedIn, copy my Instagram, bring in my logo, change the colors. It takes me about 20 minutes to half an hour to set up my profile. What can you do for it? So we went back on the table, and we now started using AI components to create your profile. And today I can say with proud, with very proud of my team, that we were able to build a system where you can have your own custom profile in less than 90 seconds.
Wow.
If you want to try that, I am giving an open challenge to anyone that you go ahead. If we are able to find your LinkedIn, if your email LinkedIn, the one that is you're registering with is public, we will find your LinkedIn. We will ask your website. We will download the logo, your profile picture, your social media from your website, and we will customize the profile based on your logo colors.
Wow. That's a fantastic, phenomenal
All,
experience.
all less than in 90 seconds.
Wow.
And we are able to do that because of AI. And that is why we say that when you are on our platform, you will get the most customized landing page feeling.
So 90 seconds is like a no time for anyone who wants to, make a networking card, right? That's a fantastic job. I'm really wondering what kind of magic you are doing behind the systems, right?
And I will
Yeah.
definitely like you to, when you are editing the podcast, you should definitely try to create your own profile and
For
show it to the
sure.
users of how you were able to create your profile. And
For
we
sure, I'm definitely going to try. Yeah.
and we have our mobile apps as well as we have our website is much more advanced in customizing your profile. Mobile apps are catching up. We are concentrating on our mobile apps to be very highly advanced in networking mode. So with mTap, I'm going to talk about this. I know you have not asked me this question, but the way we have recently renamed our tagline is mTap provides you a structure to create new contacts with impact.
Okay.
So mTap provides you a structure to create new contacts with impact. What do I mean by that? Do you know how many people don't even think about segregating their leads or tagging them out properly? Right?
Right.
And then they write notes. But if I'm talking to you, where will I write the note about you? Right?
Right.
I have no place. So within mTap Hub, you can tag a person appropriately the way you want to do it. You can create shared notes, which are shared between two people right away. So if I'm doing the work, you don't have to do the work. And the third is there are private notes that are with me. Not only that, mTap allows you to have multiple profiles. So a lot of people are doing side hustles. A lot of people are doing so if you are doing a side hustle, you need a main profile and the second profile. And mTap ecosystem allows you to use the same card but share the profile that you want to share at that time.
Wow, it's amazing. Oh, that the transition is smooth, right? That I really wonder now. I definitely want to give it a try to the mTap product, and after this recording, right, I will definitely give it a try. And moving ahead with the with our series of questions, right? Because we have been in the industry for this long time, you have built a product around this. For our audience, how do you think, what are your perspective about the value of networking, the value of relationship building? How do you see is important in the industry at present?
So it's an old cliche, right? Your What's your net worth,
Yeah.
right? So what is the net worth? Now there is a social equity and there is financial equity.
Right.
Now we should go after social equity that will lead to financial equity. So what people try to do is they try to build finance equity thinking that will lead to social equity. So your worth is your network. And the way to build network is not by quantity but by quality. So when you are talking to people, you got to be personable, you got to open yourself, you got to be vulnerable, you got to be ready to share things about you. It's not about transaction, it is not about where you work, how do you work. So I always have this great story to talk about. I learned this in one of my Dale Carnegie course. So when you are meeting with people, right, and this is to all the audience, our bigger problem that everyone was asking is, what do I talk to a new person?
Right.
Is there a framework for that? How do I connect with someone whom I don't know, right? So we were told this story. It has been about 12 years ago in the workshop of Dale Carnegie, and I still remember it. So the way, and allow me if I can have 2 minutes to tell that story.
Yeah, sure, sure.
That can be a framework you can be used by a lot of people to do the networking. It's a very stormy night, and you are driving in a taxi, and your taxi stops. It is not moving, but then you see a very nicely built house, and it has a very rustic nameplate in front of it. And you look at the rustic nameplate and you wonder, such a nice house, what is doing with the rustic nameplate? And the name is very clearly written on the rustic nameplate. And then you see these tiny hands on the big glass walls of the house. And when you got curious, you go, you knock into the house, and the kids open up the house. The kids were very happy. They were showing around the house. You asked, where is your mom and dad? So kids were not speaking anything. They took the guy upstairs. And when you went on the roof upstairs, the kids pointed out that, hey, they were started pointing to the sky. Then all of a sudden there was this one plane, and you felt as if the plane is going to come and crash on you. But instead of crashing, the plane just left out the cricket kits over there, and it plane flew off. And you are like, what's happening here? You collect the cricket kit, you went down and you started playing them. And then they offered you a very nice food, which was, and you could not forget what the food was. And then you started seeing all the great work, all the places the parents have visited with the kids, and they were all in the pictured photographs. And there were nice big trophies of all the work, research work that the parents were doing. And you were feeling very nice. You said hi to the kids and you walked out. So that's a story, right? But how do you connect it to networking? The way to connect to networking is you first ask people their name. Remember the nameplate, the rustic nameplate. You ask people their name. Then you ask people the house, where do they live?
Right.
Then you can connect with the kids. Then you connect with where they travel, where they like to travel. Then you connect with them with the plane left the cricket kit, that what kind of games they like to play. What do they work? What are their accomplishments? What they like to do? So that's how you create a network around you, which is much more personalized.
No.
When you just don't go and talk about work with people when you are in business networking. In a business networking, you need to connect at a personal level with people, which is not only about work, it's about knowing people. We got to be able to listen very openly to what the other person is saying. Listening
Right.
doesn't mean just listening. Listening means understanding and then replying back and asking the relevant questions based on what you just heard. So, to that point, I'm also actually writing a book on business networking in the age of AI.
Wow.
When you are building a relationship, a new network relationship, so there are three pillars to it. The three pillars are the first contact, the nurturing, and the maintaining. But these three pillars are based on five key points that you need to keep in mind. The first point that you need to keep in mind is why you are networking, right? Are you networking to just know people? Are you networking for a political cause? Are you networking to get more leads? Why you are networking? Second is, what's your mode of networking? Are you meeting them in person, over the phone, or on Zoom? And that is very important. Third, learn about personalities. Every person has different personality, and they tend to become more cozy to different kind of questions. So that's an
Right.
art that you need to learn. I always recommend books on reading that you need to understand the personality of people.
Right.
Fourth, need to understand the culture of the person. What kind of person they're coming from? What is the background they have? And based on the culture, you can ask them the question. So, for example, you're talking to a person in US and you don't talk about American football and baseball, and you're not able to connect on those two terms. Chances are, other than work, you'll have nothing to talk about,
Right.
right? So you need to be understanding where the what the culture of the person is. And then finally, it is very important to connect on just the general vibe. You got to understand by the body language of the other person whether your conversation is making them interested or it is not making them interested, and you need to be able to adapt and change. So be very aware of the environment around you.
Wow, that's really some cool mindful insights that coming from you, right? I really enjoyed that framework was really nice from coming from you, right? Now, as we are reaching to the end of this podcast, I would really like to know what you know. I have just two final questions there. First would be what strategies did you employ, while educating or maybe onboarding new users to mTap, because acquiring users is not it's a very daunting task to in the market, especially, right, especially when you are very new in the market. What do you think, what was your initial approach to acquire new users and saying them, yeah, hey, we have built something product that will help you network very efficiently? What was your initial call while using new users?
So my main tactic is plant yourself in a place where you can meet with a lot of people. So my
Okay.
initial tactic was I went into events where people will like to use our product. I gave them the free usage of the product at that time and worked very closely with them as to how they were signing up, what were the problems they were having, how they were sharing their information, and then have these people help us market by telling their own friends about us. So that's how we grew from zero to 15,000 people who are actually using our system right now
Wow, wow.
with
So,
zero marketing. So we have not spent a single ad dollar till date. And
wow,
it is purely by referral and people being feeling so happy about the product that they're sharing with other people. So be very,
wow.
very close to your customer, follow with your customer, listen to your customer, and implement the solutions that are causing problems to them and communicate with your customers. So that is very, very important to be in constant communication with your customer and listening to what they are saying and improving your product to it.
Wow, that's something really cool insights coming from you. Thank you for these insights. And now, the final question would be like, what advice you will give to all the budding entrepreneurs, or any final words that you want to share with our listeners to leave with you.
Be ready to pivot. We all as founders are very strong in our initial idea, but our initial idea is as good as an idea. Find out who are your early adopters and work with your early adopters of your product and listen to them, and be ready to change your idea or the product based on the feedback you are getting from the customer. A lot of times we
Right.
fail and we create products which are not required by the industry, or the product is required, the solution is not exactly what the solution user is looking for. So find your early adopters and work very closely with your early adopters to create your products.
Wow, and be open for the feedback always, right? That's the fantastic approach that one can always look forward to when in order to be successful in the industry, right? So thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us for this podcast. It was really nice to have you, and again, thank you for taking out your time on a on a for a quick morning session, right? For recording this podcast with us. It was really my pleasure to host you, and to all our listeners, I hope you got some insights. And even I will definitely give it a try to mTap product, and you should definitely try out. This will definitely work out in some great networking social events. In fact, we have tomorrow we have one event going in, and I'll definitely talk about the mTap product, about this networking event, right? So thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing these insights, and thank you for joining us for the podcast. It was my pleasure to say thank you.
Take care. Take care. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for joining.